meetings with the executives of the transport operators. And yesterday, at the end of it, we all agreed that even if there was a need for us to do any adjustment, it should have been negotiated for by government and the unions. And for the fact that that was not done, all of us, government and the union executives, agreed that we should all edge calm and ask our brothers who call for that increment to stay put with the old fares that has been approved and existing.
Did he agree with you?
Definitely, the executives agreed with me, and that was why they issued the communique to the general public, asking the general public to stay put with the existing fares and not respect any new adjustment.
But was that their position? Was it a position that they feel that there should be an increase in transport fares?
Let me state it clearly that ever since the situation between America, Israel, and Iran, fuel prices have been going up. You are aware of that. And since then, government has also made intervention to cushion everybody. That intervention should be seen to reflect in all the areas. So if government is taking taxpayers' money to cushion or to subsidize some fuel products for us, we should also be seen to work to reflect or to let it reflect on the Ghanaian people. When things were normal, fuel prices went below 10 cedis, and government didn't ask them to decrease fares, because we understood that sometimes the turbulence will come up and down for some time before you adjust. And so we also made an appeal to them. And when the prices were going up, government saw it very important to subsidize some products, which was done. And the unions appreciated it so much that they also on their own feel that, yes, the situation is not yet stable, but they should also remain with the existing lorry fares for the meantime, so that we'll steady the situation as it goes in the Middle East. And at the end of the day, whatever differences that will come, that we don't expect, we believe that things will go normal and prices will come down again, and we will all take off again working together. And so for them going behind the protocol that existed between we and them, we government and them, we thought that they didn't follow the right processes. And the executive agreed with government. That was why we issued the communique or the press release indicating to Ghanaians that there were no any new fares, and that we were urging all the loading point managers, the unions, the drivers who are responsible to day-to-day running of their own vehicles to maintain the existing price, such that to the time that all of us will agree for an increase or a decrease, then it can take effect. But for now, we are urging all the unions to remain calm and continue with the existing approved fares that we all agree to.
So you're saying that government has so far shown enough good faith to helping them deal with the factors that they outline in their press statement?
Definitely. You remember about some few weeks ago, government came out to put some subsidy on fuel prices, especially diesel. That is being used by all our transport operators. We agree with them that situations are not the best at this moment. But the fact of it is that we all have a responsibility in a little way to support government or our own in our daily movement. Like I earlier on stated, when things were normal and there was not this issue between America, Israel, and Iran, you remember prices of fuel went down 10 cities. Government, as at that time, didn't ask for any decreases in lorry fares. because we understood the situation to be in that kind of movement. It goes up and down for some time, then it stabilized for some time too. And that was why we kept it that way. So at our meeting yesterday with the transport executive, they all agreed that government is showing goodwill. And based on that goodwill, they shouldn't also disrespect any existing protocol that is between us. So I will want to commend them, especially GPRTCU, GRTCC, the true drivers, concerned drivers, all the unions. I want to commend them for the good working relationship that is between us and them.
But have you committed to any further conversations on this? Because for them to have issued a statement means that they feel strongly about this.
Definitely. We are engaging at all times. Last week, I engaged with VIP and OA, and they have earlier on increased some fares. And we had stated to them that they had gone contrary to the protocol that exists between us. And they requested for a week for them to meet with their executives and revert to me. That will be by Thursday. And so it is very hopeful that we will be engaging them again on Thursday, because that will be exactly 1 week, to see to them to how they will also go back to the normal prices that have been approved. So based on the same line, we are urging all the transport operators or the unions to bear with government and the Ghanaian citizenry at large and keep the fares as approved by the existing executive committee and government.
In fact, there are two opinions that I would like to draw attention to. First one is from the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Now, they are arguing that first, granted that, and this is a quote from an interview granted by their the executive secretary, who is of the opinion, granted that it is those who decided to go down on fares when fuel was 15. Now it's gone back up to 15 again. It could only be fair that we grant them that space to also adjust back to the old levels they were. It will become quite a disservice to the GPRT and other transport operators if we insist at this point that they should stick with the old fares. So I find that the adjustment is reasonable, except that we will need to again ask them the basis for the 20%. They are of the opinion that the position you are holding is unfair to the transport operators.
You mean this is for my friend Duncan Williams?
Duncan Amwa, yes.
Duncan Amwa, sorry. Well, it's a good friend, but I will want to say that we are not unfairly treating our unions. Our unions and us work together, and like I said, we have some protocols that exist between us as to how to increase fares. Just like they have their protocol in either reducing or increasing fuel prices of fuel products in the market, we also have that relationship or that protocol. And just as they religiously follow their protocol, we are also religiously following our protocols. So if you talk of fairness, a situation where a government will come in to subsidize the prices that they have increased, and also appealing to the transport operators to also do some same by also maintaining the existing price for some time, understanding the situation between Israel, America, and Iran. And our prayer is that it should normalize, and then fuel prices will come back to their normal levels. I'm not sure anybody will bring judgment that is not fair. All we are doing is working in the spirit of ensuring that every Ghanaian is having a little comfort in their travels. Just that they have their protocol in dealing with fuel prices, we also have protocols in dealing with lorry fares, and we are all respecting our protocols.
But that right there is a huge challenge you face, holding the line. because one of the easiest way to subsidize perhaps when it comes to increases in petrol fares is by ensuring that these transport operators are the major beneficiaries of the subsidy, and so it affects fares for the average Ghanaian. But your problem is that you have many small transport operators scattered around the country. Your only route is through the GPRTU. There are those who suggest that this should lead to you perhaps looking at reforms to how our transportation is currently structured. That government should increase its participation in the transportation sector. That if you were the number one transporter, perhaps then you can direct those subsidies towards the companies that you own, and that will affect virtually everybody. Are we reconsidering how our current transportation sector is structured, and perhaps government taking much more control of it?
In managing an economy, you have to be a little bit careful, such that you don't do things to affect one side of the economy. The private sector participation in transport operations throughout the world is well recognized. Government participation in transport system is also well recognized. But you have to play the game such that both sides coexist and be able to manage or to render services to the Ghanaian people. One, if government through our agencies like STC, Metro Mass, that is exactly under the Ministry of Transport, to say we are going to bring in thousands of buses to push out the private sector, maybe it might not be well for the economy, because you have pushed out another group from participating or contributing to the development of that economy. And so you will have to marry the two. Whilst you are supporting the private sector, government is also taking a portion of it. So we have to coexist and work together so that government should not be seen taking out total business from its own citizenry, who also will have to contribute or participate in the same economy to let it grow. So yes, there are questions or there are issues that government should do more in the transport sector. That is why we are diversifying, looking at the rail sector. When we took over, there was no any existing rail line moving. Everything was at a stop. There was no any functioning rail line. We have worked on the Tamampaka Dam, position it and commission it is working. We have worked on the secondary Kojo Krum to, it's about 15 kilometers rail line. It is also working now. Just last week, my chief executive of Railway Development Authority was in Southampton to inspect 2 locomotives and then 2 wagons for us to complement the services with the fleet or cargo services. So in that sector, government will take strong lead, and President Mahama is very determined that we will connect all those rail lines to the mining sites through to Kumasi and get it functioning to supplement the road transport services. Whilst we also participate in the road transport services through STC and the Metro Mass, you remember we just brought in 100 buses to supplement it. And STC is waiting to receive about 140 buses. Ayalolo, as it stands, is under the Ministry of Local Government, and I'm aware they are also working to get some new fleet to complement what they have. In the same way, we are also encouraging the private sector to also come with more of those fleet of vehicles to supplement or complement what government is doing and themselves, so that we can have the economy running from both angles.
Well, and are we making progress with the establishment of a new airline?
That is of serious importance to President Mahama, and he is committed, and he has charged us, and we are running day and night to ensure that we get that line re-established to fly the flag of Ghana throughout the world. So yes, we are committed. But remember, when we took over under IMF conditions, you couldn't do much. Now we are out. we have accelerated the speed of ensuring that that line is established. President Mahama is determined to re-establish it, and it will work.
Great. Let's find time so that you pass by the studio and let's have a
definitely. But you understand that your brother has. It used to be Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Railway Development, and Ministry of Aviation.
Yes.
All have been put together. And if you want things to work, you must work more in the kitchen and get the meals out to the people than getting to sit with the people whilst the kitchen is locked. So we are getting to the point where when we're able to roll out, and I would have been happy if you were in Ho last week to see how every sector, every agency reported their progress of work, because last year we gave ourselves some projects we should complete in a year's time. And it was so beautiful. If your reporter was there.
Yes, we had a reporter there.
You should look at that report and you see the kind of progress that the Ministry of Transport and all our agencies, being directed by His Excellency President Mahama, we are performing what we are doing.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
I'm grateful, my brother.
Yeah, he's the Honorable Minister for Transport. So everything covering transport, from the ground to the air, he is responsible for all of it. On the seas, on the rivers, he's responsible for everything. Initially, there used to be some level of separation. We decided to bring them all together once again for one man to superintend, with his deputy, of course, and with the number of institutions that would work under him. But for Ayalulu, the rest is under him. So a few priorities that he says they are working on: the national airline, then also improving the rail network, rail transport, maybe adding a few more trains so that people can also move to that. Those who want to use that can also move to that. In addition to, you are seeing growing number of fleets from is it MMT, Metromas? Yes. Also, well, taking us exactly 11 minutes past 8, he's Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikpe, who joined us on the line for a conversation, because, of course, this morning, the big issue that everybody was looking forward to was the 20% hike in